Hello everyone, it is I, Ryan, also known as the Lovebat, and I am back once again to continue playing my Let's Play of Pathfinder Kingmaker. And so, last we left off, we were able to go ahead and finally fully take care of everything that was going on at the old sycamore tree, the nice big landmark, and there were some mites and kobolds that made their home there. Thankfully, we were able to end up finding Tartuccio, or as we know him as the Kobold Tartuk. We're not really sure what his true identity is. We don't know if he's really was originally Tartuk and he masqueraded as Tartuccio, or if he's Tartuccio and he just masquerades as a kobold, as like multiple personality disorder, or if he's just really crazy and evil and he's just you don't really need to understand him. I'm not sure exactly what was going on with him, but we were able to finally find him in the sacred hall inside Old Sycamore. Once we found the Mite relic, we gained access to that hall, and we were able to find him, and he was putting something long and thin through a teleporter of some kind of artifact or relic that he was looking for. And so he teleported it back to what we assume to be his masters in P-Tax that he is serving as a spy. But we were able to defeat him after one rough attempt at trying to combat him, and him throwing a fireball in our face after we've been already ravaged by lots of damage. We were able to prepare much better next time that we attempted to fight him, and we were able to pretty easily dispose of him because his fireball ended up killing all of his underlings, because apparently the AI is not smart enough to consider, oh, an area of effect spell like fireball maybe isn't quite so advantageous if I just center it on the character that's right next to all the kobolds of mine. Maybe I should throw it behind them and then have it hit the enemies and not my own comrades. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and take it, because dealing with fireball at our level is still pretty difficult. It's kind of something that's hard to defend against when they can deal like 30 damage to everybody, which is probably enough to down most of our characters or significantly reduce our health. Even after everything Alyrra's been through, and she's now level 4, 40 hit points is enough to maybe survive one fireball. But two of them would be really difficult to deal with, like we dealt with in the first fight. So the second fight definitely went much smoother against our old rival Tartuccio. After we defeated them, we found some loot and different things inside Old Sycamore and in the Sacred Hall and whatnot. But we were also able to convince the Mite Queen Bada to not continue the war against the kobolds, because as it turned out, Tartuccio was manipulating the kobolds to start a war and a conflict between the two sort of, how should I say it, factions at Old Sycamore, and manipulated the kobold leader Chief Suitscale to start fighting with the mites and to give himself an opening to take advantage of the situation while they were distracted and trying to fight a war against each other. So we presented that information to Queen Bada. She was very, I guess, grateful in her own way, and decided, you know what, we're not going to go and fight the kobolds anymore, because, you know, at some point it has to be water under the bridge, and they might have been stupid, but they weren't really malicious. It was Tartuccio, or Tartuk, that was the malicious one. And so now they're back to being, I hope, friends again, and won't fight anymore, which will be good, because then we don't have to worry about that. And then we came back and reported it to Keston Garess inside here, and we talked to him, reported that we killed Tartuccio. He was very glad. We got a lot of money and experience out of this entire ordeal, and things are looking promising. And then we recently, as we got back here, we learned that from Oleg Levinton, that there's a big wild boar called Tuskgutter, that there's a bounty out on this big wild boar. And so we kind of have an opportunity to go ahead and claim the bounty if we want. And Amiri was particularly interested in finding this Tuskgutter and fighting them. So we might end up finding Tuskgutter, because the hunter whose leg they basically... Tuskcutter basically had a hunter that went after them to try and, I guess, I don't know if it's hunting for sports, or if the Tuskcutter is just a menace and they were trying to get rid of Tuskcutter. But a hunter unsuccessfully fought Tuskcutter, had their leg crippled, and now they put out a bounty on them, and we can collect on that if we want. And so now we can go ahead and talk to Miri here, as we've kind of come from what we were doing in the previous episode. And now we can talk to Miri about Tuskcutter, because she was particularly interested in pursuing Tuskcutter. So we can ask her, alright, we're going to talk? And Miri utters a weary sigh. Alright, spill it. I'm listening. Why do you want to kill this Tuskcutter so much? I mean, what's on your mind with that? You seem particularly interested in Tuskcutter. He's a monster. We kill monsters. What's here so difficult to understand? I don't think it's as simple as that, but that's the reason that she's giving us. And I mean, you know, I'm a paladin. I know all about wanting to kill evildoers and monsters and things like that. And but you know what? I mean, again, that's just what she's telling us right now. Maybe once we find Tuskcutter, they'll tell us a bit more about that. And there's Jaethal, who we also picked up last session, because they were... previously, they were under the service of Tortutio at the very beginning of the game, after the tutorial section. We found her inside the tomb a couple sessions back, that Tortutio was looking for this ancient artifact or something that he was trying to find for his Pitaxian masters. We didn't choose to bring her along at the time. We chose Harim, the dwarven sort of fatalistic deity-worshipping cleric. But we also found Jaethal last session, who was able to make some of our fights a bit easier. Or it might have been 2 sessions ago, but either way, we were able to find Jaethal recently while we were inside Old Sycamore, doing the thing in there. And she was imprisoned, and she was able to escape being imprisoned by the kobolds, and was able to help us in some of our fights down there. So we were able to go ahead and have her join along for now. She's an evil character who is also undead, so it's not necessarily someone that Alyrra wants to associate with. It's more of just, we need extra bodies, and there's not really anyone else that can help us right now. If we had more good-hearted, good-natured help, we would definitely take that over Jaethal. But for now, we don't really have any other bodies to spare. Greetings, Valerie sighs. Everything is well, I hope? I'm ready for new orders. Well, I guess we don't have any other things that we can talk to Valerie about, so we're just going to get going here. As you wish. Valerie nods with dignity. We could talk to Jaethal and Harim to learn more about them, but for now I'm just not particularly interested in talking with Jaethal and Harim, as far as getting to know them more personally. Right now I'm just more interested in some other things, so... Is there anything else? Let's see, these will be useful for us. We already got the bag of holding. And we were able to take a monk level, so we're going to be more easily able to fight on the front lines now. And we have an amulet of mighty fists, which could end up helping us since we have monk levels. I don't know if this is something that... So I guess the Amulet of Mighty Fist gives us a +1 to the attack and damage rolls. However, it uses our strength modifier for damage still, even though we do have a monk level. So I'm not sure if there's a way to be able to attack and do damage based on dexterity with your unarmed strikes. Maybe that's something you gain at a later monk level. Might have to double check here real quick. Draconic Metal could be interesting. Bonus on saving throws against fear, paralysis, and sleep. That's actually pretty helpful. Fast movement. So yeah, I don't know if there's any kind of way to deal damage with dexterity for your unarmed strikes. I don't know. Maybe that's a feat that you have to take. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just a feat that you have to take, and it's something that you have to gain later on. I'm not quite sure. I'm learning the game kind of as I go. I have a general idea of what a lot of stuff does. Again, the first character that I played was an archer character, so some things I didn't explore all the way. So if I can do a bunch of unarmed strikes, that's great. If not, then we'll be okay just doing with weapon finesse for now. Because that way we can actually deal some damage with this thing. Maybe later on we'll gain a monk weapon to where we can also make unarmed strikes or things like that while we have a weapon equipped. I'm hoping that's how it works. Like, Pathfinder's a bit different from the way that... I guess from the way that traditional Dungeons and Dragons kind of functions. Alright. So we'll get going here, and we're going to leave some of this stuff behind, as usual. These are all the things we stashed away for later, mainly potions, cooking items, and then these antiquity type things, some relics of old artifacts for one, are a thing. And so now we are going to get going, and we're going to go ahead and at least try to find where we can go ahead and find the Stag Lord's men. Maybe at some point we can find some additional companions that can help us out. Now we are fatigued right now, but we're going to be able to rest at some point later. And I just want to make the best use of time and not rest at the trading post. I mainly wanted to go here to take care of the different quest-related things, and then also to go ahead and offload all the loot and stuff that we had, since we're not going to be able to lug it all around anymore, since we have to go onto the world map and we can't keep on doing that. Eventually we might make our way back to Old Sycamore to find some of the loot that we found there. This time we're going to go this direction and see what we find over here. So there's a manticore over there that we could see about going to fight. Might be a bit of a difficult fight, but you know what? Let's go ahead and see if we can take care of the manticore. Because Valerie is quite an AC tank now. She has quite a few hit points. I'm hoping that maybe we'll find something here while we're over here. We might as well just take advantage of it. I'm assuming that if we were level 2, like, if we went here right after going to the Oleg's trading post and we were still only level 2, like before, then this would probably not be an option for us right now, because a manticore sounds like it's pretty strong to deal with.
Here.
Yes, I'm still here.
So we do have quite a bit of stuff left here that we can make use of. I think we'll just stick with ranged
Here
weapons.
I am.
And then,
See.
yeah, and then we can go ahead and switch to more melee options if it comes at us. See, we have one casting a bless. Alright, so I think we should have enough things here to be able to deal with it.
Patience.
There we go. Don't know if there's going to be any saving throw type things with the Manticore, so we'll take care of all of this. And at the very least, we're going to get buffed up for the fight. And then get you going with all of that.
Notice awaits us.
Just letting the ink dry.
Yeah, and I think they're making little comments because they're tired and want to rest, so they occasionally make little comments like we should rest now and things like that. I'm going to put guidance on both of them so that way they can get a bonus to an attack roll, and then
Oh, sorry. Was lost in thought.
I guess with you, let's see, Stunning Barrier, let's go ahead and put Stunning Barrier over on this side of all this stuff. I never really used Touch of Chaos because it has to make a melee touch attack, and like it's not as good as just doing damage, I find a lot of the time. You just want to be able to get in with attacks for the most part and not worry about things like this. Maybe against the boss enemy, maybe it might be good, but boss enemies have such good modifiers that making them roll twice is only good for negating critical hits, I guess, so.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm still here.
Okay. Alright, now that we've got all that taken care of, let's see if we can find this Manticore. We see things over there. So we're seeing lots of dead sort of wildlife, but we don't see a Manticore yet. I'll loot everything later after I deal with the Manticore. Trying to figure out where it is. I'll just quick save it now because I think that we'll be able to win the fight. Don't mind doing that. I'm just trying to figure out where this thing is. I can't see it. I don't know how big this area is either. Ooh, wrong button. Okay, so it's not too big of an area, but maybe you'll find it here. No, Valerie, you get down there. I don't have to go through all the pre-battle buffs again just for the fight, so. Alright, so there's the Manticore. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's get everyone into position except for Lindsay, who will bless. Everyone just hold position for now. Come on, Lindsay, cast it. You can do it. There we go. Alright, so we are hitting somewhat. I don't know what its AC is. Alright, so its AC is only 15, so that's pretty doable. Even with all the penalties and stuff that we have to deal with, that's pretty doable. And this will make it also a bit easier. Alright, and then I guess we can go ahead and have you do, I guess, Acid Splash instead. Might be easier to hit with Acid Splash compared to using the crossbow for now. There we go. So we're getting in there. And let's do another Inspire Courage. Alright, now they're doing the thing. So now is probably a good time to get in here. Let's go ahead and do the melee touch attack, and then Harim, you will also get in here. We might as well. Yeah, I know Jathel's likely to just get smashed here, but... Alright, power attack, cleave, let's get you in there, Miri, we might as well.
Tear them apart!
Yep, indeed. And then I guess we might as well get in with this.
This can't be over.
Okay, so is it trying... Yep, it's trying to attack me now. If I can get in and attack and get fighting defensively, it'll be a bit harder for them to hit. So if we can get that
I shall
in.
not falter.
Alright. Way to go, Alyrra. You got him. Yeah, she has pretty good modifiers to hit. So in melee, she can be pretty effective with flanking and all the other stuff that's going on there. So... And then there's probably some teamwork feats that might be able to help things out too. Yeah, I just rolled really high on that attack. If I had gotten in fighting defensively, it would have been a bit easier to go ahead and deal with. Yeah, because AC 24, that's not too bad. And then Harim's 26 AC, that's also not too bad, especially since we're all fatigued right now. So yeah, that fight was definitely very doable. It's just difficult when you're fatigued and you're just having to deal with all kinds of stuff, so all kinds of debuffs and everything like that. Let's go back to doing the traditional again. No, I don't want to do that. There we go. And then turn that off. Turn that off. And then we'll turn off Acid Splash for now. Alright, so we do have some resources left still. We have some healing.
I'm hungry. When we stop?
So what can we get off the Manticore? So we can skin it. So we're going to go ahead and cast the good old Guidance. On the two of them to see what they can do. And Jathel succeeded on her check. Nice. Manticore pelt's worth 32 gold, so that's not too bad. What do we have over here? So now it's time to go around here and check and see what we have. So coal is just a merchant item. So yeah, just merchant items over here and loot. See what else that we can find. We're pretty good with perception in our party right now, so if there's anything to find lying out and about with perception checks, we should do pretty well at spotting things. We have a good deal of wisdom, so that's one, I guess, slight advantage of having Jathel in the party, is that she makes a pretty good character for perception and some of the various lore type checks. So having her around, like, thematically, we'd rather not have her because our character just really doesn't like her. And personally, I'm not really too fond of her as a player. She's not the most interesting character to have around, and I like having characters that are at least somewhat interesting.
Godspeed.
But, you know, mechanically, she's still very useful to have around, so we're not going to feel like we're missing out on anything without her, but it's still nice to have her around because she can help you out. So, dueling sword, and looks like a magic belt. I think it's a stat boosting belt because the colors tend to indicate what kind of stat that it will boost. Belt of incredible dexterity. That's wonderful, actually. This will fit perfectly with my character, and unarmored defense and everything is nice with that. So, increases damage, attack, armor class, dexterity saves. So that's going to be pretty wonderful for us. We'll be able to eventually now get into the front lines like we've been wanting to do for quite a while. And if we end up finding, I guess if we get the mage armor spell with anyone, then we can cast that on my character and have that function as like an armor bonus while they're unarmored. Because in this game, mage armor, and I think in 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons technically you can also do it, where you can actually cast mage armor on other characters if you so want to. It's just usually a lot of people don't really find that they don't really find that advantageous to cast it on someone else a lot of times. So that's not finesse wielding. Unlike in 5th edition D&D, scimitars are not finesse wielding. Dueling swords being finesse wielding, eventually I want to be able to use one of those. There is a fighter subclass, so to speak, that can give you free proficiency in the dueling sword, so that could be a consideration simply due to the fact that it saves you a feat by giving you the proficiency. You also get a free first level feat as a fighter level, so that could be a consideration for us to be able to pick up dueling sword proficiency and just an extra combat feat to get us going online a bit quicker. And then, now Wand of Grease, that's actually very useful. I don't know if I'll necessarily need the wand since Lindsay can already cast it, but that's actually a pretty wonderful spell. That really helped us out at Old Sycamore when we were fighting those skeletons that were really difficult to defeat, and they would constantly try and bypass Valerie, but they couldn't if we cast Grease on them to keep making them go prone. That was just a super strong spell. It's a first level spell, but it was super strong when we used it at Old Sycamore. I guess there's some treasure over here that we didn't get yet. I mean, there's something over here that we didn't get yet. I'm trying to highlight loot and I can't seem to find whatever loot there is. I don't know, maybe that's a bug. I don't know, maybe the Manticore fell on something that's supposed to highlight loot and now it's not. I mean, it's supposed to be like right here, I think, right? I'm gonna pause it real quick. I don't know why loot's showing up on the map. I mean, that could be a bug. I'm not quite certain. I'm not sure if the Manticore fell on something that I was supposed to be able to loot. Because usually if you use the tab key here to highlight containers or loot, you should be able to see what you can loot. I mean, maybe I'm blind, but I'm just not seeing it, so I guess we'll just have to continue on without it, whatever it is. Maybe we already looted something and it's just showing up as not having been looted for whatever reason. Well, whatever. I mean, it's probably inconsequential. The only thing that would be a major bummer to miss out on... Oh, okay. I guess it allows me to go and collect the loot anyway as I head out of here, so that's nice at least. I don't think I'm going to need to use the spell scroll, but getting extra stuff to sell is always nice. Alright, now we're back at the world map, and so we can go ahead and make our way to Fangberry Cave now. Yep, I know it'll take some time. And so we're going to go in here, and I'm assuming that even while we're fatigued, we should be able to handle whatever is in here. Alrighty. So again, we're going to do the usual look around to see if we can find any little things to find with perception. Guess we're outside of the cave for now, and we have to make our way in eventually. There's more fog here, kind of like what's been going on in the forest recently. That the dryad of the forest, or the the guardian of the forest, the forest guardian bloom, or whatever her name was, seems to be keen on this little fog here that's been going on in the forest and wants us to deal with it, and so do other people, I guess. Like Oleg talked about getting lost in the fog and stuff like that. It's hard to navigate for a lot of people. I need to switch your weapon to the crossbow for now. Just to... Since Emiri's AC is just... No, what are you doing? I put you with the crossbow now. You don't need to go up there to fight it.
As one.
But since Valerie's AC is just so good for these common fights, I want to go ahead and just use her as much as possible just to mitigate the damage that my party might take. I didn't want to use guidance on her, I guess. I wanted to do it on Emiri and Jaethel here for skinning these monsters, these beasts. Excellent. Another 8 gold right there, so that's pretty helpful. The experience isn't all that much for defeating monsters in this game, except for maybe boss enemies, so the experience points gained with fighting monsters in this game compared to something like Baldur's Gate, where at the later levels you can definitely get some good experience points just fighting monsters. The experience points gained from fighting monsters is definitely more inconsequential compared to some other RPGs. Yep, I guess they get... Occasionally they also get critical hits, so not much can be helped about that. But, you know, war of attrition, it happens, so you have to be able to tank at least a couple of hits, even if you're an AC tank, so... And we're going to go ahead and do guidance again, because I assume that we'll be able to skin these things. Alright, all 3. Nice. DC wasn't too high considering their nature checks, or their nature modifiers, so... More loot and more of the, more food for cooking materials. That's just, more of a later game type thing, not really relevant right now, but... Later on in the game, recipes will be useful for some kinds of resting bonuses, so we'll just keep collecting those, and maybe at some point we'll have an opportunity to use them.
Without a doubt.
Later on in the game, we might also have more liberty to carry things like rations if we want to rest indoors, if we're in like a really long dungeon of some kind. Because later on we might be able to get more ways of carry weight or increase strength. Or maybe we just don't have to carry quite as much useless junk as a way to try and get ourselves extra money. We'll save our game after those fights went pretty well for us, so we don't have to replay anything in case something goes terribly wrong here. So now we're inside the Fangberry Cave, and the outer location...
prevail. Does it matter?
The outer location, while it was definitely pretty, now we're in a spot to where we kind of need to worry about monster hunting. So, more giant spiders here. I hope that we don't have to worry about them going past our dudes. We're going past Valerie to get to our back line here. I think I might have Hareem get in there now. His AC is probably good enough to be... Yeah. So I think as long as we have 2 people up front here, that probably should be enough to keep them occupied and not to beeline it back to our back line. Alright, so we took care of the spiders there. Not sure what else we're going to encounter in this cave, so we'll see. Looks like there's a dead kobold over here. That has a potion of mage armor. Nice. A potion of mage armor could be helpful. Go ahead and put it on you in case we end up having a boss fight where it could come in handy to give you some extra AC. Mage armor is still probably most useful if you can just cast it as a spell, because then the duration I think would be much longer and you don't have to worry about burning through potions that you can otherwise sell. But potions are still good early on when you don't have someone that can cast a spell. And I guess Lindsay can technically use wands, and we have a wand of a mage armor, I think, but the wands tend to sell for much more than these scrolls do, and you just need a wizard to be able to truly take advantage of the scrolls that you come across. Alright, some more spiders here. Shouldn't be too difficult to beat. We'll switch her off to doing acid splash for the touch AC again. We'll keep these around in case we need a casting of grease, which could be helpful.
You have my attention. The undead is such a frivolous term. I prefer immortal, eternal, everlasting.
Alright, just 1 measly hit point. Thanks a lot. 6 hit points on the other hand, that's much better. Just trying to get some of my people here healed up. I guess, I don't know if it hurt. Alright, so at the very least, channeling positive energy to heal the living, it does not end up hurting Jaethal. It doesn't heal her, but it doesn't hurt her, so that's something that's good to know. So let's do a quick save, and then we're going to get in here against these spiders.
When we stop.
Do not fall down.
I don't care about the attack of opportunity. That's kind of irrelevant when Valerie's AC is so high. And I'm just having Jaethal using a cantrip here just because the touch AC bit of it makes it a lot easier to go ahead and hit the spiders and most any enemy. And just getting the consistent damage can be helpful there.
Would be nice, don't you think?
Yeah, resting would be nice, but for now we need to go as long as we can and kind of make good time on what we're doing, our grand objectives, I guess you could say. So we found some Fangberries over here. I don't know if this is going to activate a dialogue chain of some kind. Maybe we'll cast guidance on some people just in case there's any skill checks involved with these Fangberries. Alright, let's do a quick save and then we'll see what's up with the Fangberries here. So Miri, I guess, is going to get in there with nature, I guess. Alright, so we had to beat a DC 20 to get them. Not bad. Alright, so we got the Fangberries for Boggard. I guess we can explore around here some more and see if we can find any loot, perhaps. I guess we're not getting any perception checks for now to see if we can spot anything in here. We'd probably know if it was a perception check somewhere if guidance were to wear off, because that would be an ability check that guidance gives a bonus to and would then end the spell. Let's see, is there someplace over here that we can go to? I think we already explored everything that we can over there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and see what's behind the door number 2 over here and see what's through this little thin sort of cavern way. Alright, spider swarm, lovely. So, if I remember correctly, swarms are something that you can't really try and deal traditional damage to. You have to use like area of effect type damage or some kinds of elemental damage perhaps to be able to deal with them properly.
Done with waiting.
So I don't know if Acid Splash will be able to get in there and hurt them, but we'll see.
Stand with me.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get you equipped, Valerie, with a torch here. Let's see if you can go ahead and hit those suckers with your torch. Alright, and so she should automatically succeed on the fortitude saving throws because her fortitude saves are just super good. Her constitution is super high. So we should be okay against the swarm. It's more a matter of can we hurt them. Someone was trying to hurt them and it didn't do any damage. Yeah, so it's immune to physical forms of damage like that, so we're just going to have you guys. You're all going to attack the spider instead. Let's see if Acid Splash can damage the spider swarm.
Look at me, Goron!
Okay, now all of you once again go after the giant spider. Alright, so Acid Splash does seem to deal damage to it. I'm not sure how much damage we need to do necessarily, but let's see if we can go ahead and get in here with some torches. See, Amiri, you should be able to get in there, and I think that you should be able to get in there too. torches are not finesse wielding, so Alyrra isn't going to be able to get in there with it. I guess we'll just keep having... I don't know, Jaethel can keep on using Acid Splash. We don't even need to equip a torch for her, since that'll work fine enough with taking care of these spiders. So let's get in then with Harim and Amiri then. Both of you get in there.
Do not hold back.
Don't think we need to fight defensively with anyone else because it's attacking the touch AC of Valerie. So I think we almost got the spider swarm taken care of here. So we are slowly but surely dealing damage to the swarm. Don't know how much damage we need to do. Alright, we finally got it. So I guess we can just keep them equipped with the torches for now until we find... Until we basically get to the... Until we get out of here, basically. When we get out of the cave and we think that we might not encounter any more of those spider swarm mobs, then we'll go ahead and take care of that when we get to it.
Patience.
And let's do a bit of this to heal up a little bit. Only 1 hit point. That's really frustrating that it can't heal more, but we did take fighter levels with Harim, so that's just a side effect of not investing more into cleric levels that might be able to have that heal for more. Because like a 1D something can end up healing only 1 hit point, which is not very good at any level. Alright, so let's go ahead and quick save it here, because we at least, even though Valerie took quite a bit of punishment there, getting hit with her touch AC instead of her normal AC, we did win the fight, and I'll take that as a victory without expending many resources to deal with that. You could also, I assume, use Alchemist's Fires or the Acid Flasks and things like that and just throw those at the spider swarm to take care of them if you didn't have any torches, or if you sold the torches, for example. Alright, Wand of Cure Moderate Wounds is quite good, but I'm not sure if we'll need it. I could save it for dungeons down the line. I guess there's a sword there that we can't pick up that looks like a pretty good sword, but... So I don't know if there's any more loot. Oh, I guess there's another passage here. I spoke too soon, but I don't know why we can't loot that sword there. I mean, there's several weapons here that we can't pick up. Alright, so once again we have another spider here.
I'm listening.
You cannot stand against me.
Alright, so we have another spider swarm over here that we're going to need to take care of. So everyone except for Jaethel go after the giant spiders right now. Maybe Valerie should go after the spider swarm too. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and have Harim get in here, as well as Amiri. Alright, Harim and Amiri, we got to get you in there to help out Valerie. Because, well, she has a lot of hit points. She is definitely taking some damage here because of the touch AC. Yeah, it's more just trying to hit them that is the issue that happens with us. Alright, Harim, we're going to get you back to just doing the bow thing. Same with you, Amiri. I know that Miri likes to get in there and slash and slice and dice things, but
overcome.
that's... oh, damn it. Okay, well, we might have to abandon that plan and get Harim in here instead, since he has hit points to spare against the Spider Swarm. His touch AC is going to be terrible, but he's the only one that really has a lot of hit points to work with, and the awesome Constitution saves to deal with the Spider Swarm. Okay, so for now we're just going to attack there.
Right.
Valor, you get in there. Alright, so you three are going to go after the giant spiders. We need you guys to go after the spider swarms and take them out as soon as possible. Valerie looks like she got downed by the... oh shit. What's this? He failed a fortitude saving throw somehow. Like, what, does a natural one result in a failed save now? Like that... he met the DC. Like, I didn't think that a natural one would result in an automatic failure there, but I guess that sucks. I mean, that really does suck. If natural ones do result in a failed save, that kind of sucks, because Harim should be able to deal with poison pretty good. Should be able to automatically succeed on those saves. If needed, I could use an Alchemist's Fire here, but we'll see.
Attack!
Alright, Amiri, after you launch that bow attack, it's going to be time to get you in with the torch. There's two spider swarms there, and we really need to kill them. I guess it might be a time to go ahead and have Alyrra go ahead and toss an Alchemist's Fire in there to see if we can clear out those spider swarms. Because we really need to hit. Okay, so the spider swarms are kind of kicking the crap out of us, but we're going to do our best. Let's see if Amiri can get in there to do things. We only did 1 damage to the spider swarm. I guess we missed with the attack, so that kind of sucks. We really need to kill them, so let's... I don't mind using a couple of Alchemist Fires here. They don't give us much cell value, so we might as well do this instead of using healing potions. Okay. Let's have you do that, and I guess Lindsay, you might as well try and throw one too. Your dexterity is not great because of the fatigue and dexterity damage there, but still gonna be better than nothing. I don't know if I hit the spider swarm or not. No, it only dealt 1 damage. No. Okay, yeah, so yeah, I don't know if that I don't know if one of those Alchemist Fires actually hit the spider swarm. I might have missed it. But we really need to take it out here, so we gotta get in there. Right, Jaethal.
Despicable.
Need to acid splash it. Quickly, quickly. There we go. I think we finally got it. Alright, well that's... crisis averted. If we need to use more of those, I'll just equip some, but... Yeah, taking the strength damage, not ideal here. We are going to rest, which will allow us to heal up some of this ability damage, but it's not ideal when it's not ideal when you are able to automatically succeed on a save because your modifier is so good, but a natural 1 still results in a failed save. Again, I'm not sure what the rules say there. I know in 5th edition D&D that only applies to attack rolls and not to saving throws and ability checks. I don't know if this game does it different than Pathfinder tabletop. But I remember in most tabletop systems that a natural 1 really only applies to attack rolls to automatically fail. Now usually if you roll a natural 1 in most things, it will mean that you fail in some way, just because there's usually not much way that you can succeed by rolling that low. But in this particular game, because you can get modifiers or something so high like saving throws and skill checks and things like that, compared to 5th edition D&D, to where the modifiers progress much slower and don't cap out quite as high, you would kind of expect that you wouldn't have the natural 1 scenario to automatically make you fail if you're really good at something. But that's maybe just a pet peeve and a bit of a minor gripe, because, I mean, still did ability damage. I mean, that's, you know, if I didn't want to deal with ability damage, there's the combat settings or whatever that I could change to not make it do that. I just wish that if you could automatically succeed on the save, that it actually did so, even if you rolled the 1. So looks like there's nothing else out here except for tiny little spiders. But we dealt with the spider swarm successfully, and we were able to find the Fangberries for Boggard, as well as a good bit of loot here. We found an orc double axe, so if we had an orc, or half orc I guess, then we would be able to use that fairly effectively. We also have a scimitar. See, I don't think we're going to need to keep the torches equipped, so we're going to switch out our weapons once again. You get that. And then where's your bastard sword? There you go. Oops. And then Amiri, we don't need you equipped with a torch anymore, so that will be fine. We'll keep the torches because they don't weigh very much, and again, we might need them for certain elemental damage necessities, but I'm hoping that we won't need them.
State your desire.
And I don't think we'll need acid splash after we rest and get our... Harim is carrying too much weight, apparently. Oh, he's overloaded. Ah, that's right, because he has ability score damage to strength, it makes it harder for him to carry stuff. Okay then, let's just de-equip the tower shield. We'll be okay without it for now, and now let's get going. And I didn't leave anything behind, because usually it'll let you know if you forgot to pick up some loot before you leave the map, so we should be good to go.
Resting would be nice, don't you think?
Yep, again, resting would be nice, but I might have to hold off for just a little bit longer and explore as much as we can before deciding to rest and take the time out to do that. Because again, we're on a bit of a timer for dealing with our mission against the Stag Lord. There's the hunting grounds, which I assume is... Oh, that's... Okay, so the hunting grounds is the thing that we found before randomly. That's not related to anything. Tuskgutter's lair's all the way down there, which is quite a far ways away. Quite far away, so we're not sure if we're going to be able to do that right now. I mean, I might be able to eventually take care of that, but we might need to go off to Thorn Ford, deal with the Stag Lord's bandits over there. The question is, do I want to go over here and explore a bit more this way, or do I just want to keep on going? You know what, I'm going to be able to explore, I guess, down here eventually, I imagine. But let's go over here. And alright, so there's a bit of a fork in the road over there. We're not going to go that direction yet because we don't need to go that way. Stuff that we are looking for seems more in the west and maybe the south over here. So we have a river over here that I'm assuming that we're eventually going to need to cross. So we might need to do just a little bit of exploring and find our way through here.
My strength fades.
How much inventory? Alright, so we have 319 pounds. Alright, so we can still afford to go and find some more stuff before returning to Oleg's trading post to turn in the Fangberry quest. Might be worth just going through here and then seeing what's over in this direction. I just want to explore as much as possible. Alright, so let's go over this way. I just want to, again, explore things as much as possible. So we know this is over here. We don't need to go over here just yet, but eventually we will. See if there's anything over in this direction. Alright, so random encounter. Some of our characters are exhausted, so fighting will be a bit difficult in this fight.
Won't help you.
But if it's just kobolds, I'm hoping that things shouldn't be too difficult. Since it's an alchemist, I think we want to get in there with you. And charge in there. And it looks like we have another one coming in. We don't need you to be cleaving and doing stuff with your bow. Alright, we took care of the alchemist. And we took care of the kobold. Yep, just a regular old kobold. Alright. Thankfully, kobold's not too difficult to fight. Just dealing with lots of issues with carry weight and encumbrance for now. Don't think there should be any more of them. Yeah, I like to switch Jaethal to a melee weapon and some of my other companions when they aren't fatigued and exhausted, to try and go ahead and make it more difficult for them to activate certain abilities without being opportunity attacked. So he's overloaded by 1 pound. Okay, well. Again, let's just go ahead and take that off then. We can get by without it for a short period of time. Again, it's not ideal to travel while you're exhausted, but I just want to try and make best possible use of time while we can. Since Valerie usually has a good enough AC to just take all the heat off of our other characters.
Gather our strength.
Okay, so we kind of know what's over here, if anything. Alright, so I don't think anything's over there, so we're gonna go back over this direction. Now Valerie is also exhausted, so we're gonna have to eventually find a place to hole up here. So I guess travel time-wise, it's maybe considered the quickest way to get over there. Or at least that's what the game is telling us. Maybe it's because we're not traveling through forests that it'll end up taking a quicker amount of time to get over there. I don't know, let's test it out and see how long it takes going this direction to get over there. Do get to explore slightly more of the map, I guess, going this way. Alright, so let's go ahead and do a quick save here, and we're going to go ahead and finally rest up. We're going to go ahead and re-equip your things, just because. Because we're going to rest, might as well just do this now, so we'll have to remember to do it later. Anyone else have anything that they need to change out? I don't think so. I guess a wand of grease could be more useful than ear-piercing scream, at least. Cure moderate wounds. That's a very expensive wand, whereas these aren't so expensive. So I might just sell that wand of cure moderate wounds. It is very helpful, and Lindsay can use it. But even though Lindsay can use it, I think it's still better for us to just go ahead and sell it, because we do have some other forms of healing for now. And usually I like to try and do damage prevention as much as possible, and getting as much money as possible can help to buy some of the good items at the shops. Like Oleg's Trading Post has some of those stat boosting belts and items that you can get now, so eventually when we go back there it'll be nice to be able to make use of the money that we have, kind of be liberal with how we spend it.
I don't understand. What's the point of preparing to die every day? Enjoy life, harem. None of it will exist after you die.
I don't need cheap pleasure to convince me that my life has value. Besides, it's a pleasure to know that every path has an end.
Two very different perspectives on life after death, and how to, I guess, enjoy life as it is now. I guess Amiri has also chimed in with Harim during these rests about just living, enjoying the time that you have now while you're alive, that kind of thing. Alright, so now that we've taken care of that, I think it is time now to finally get the ball rolling. How much ability score damage do we have? So he's heavily encumbered. Okay, well we'll just have to deal with that for now. Don't know if I can take 6 pounds off of him. Yeah, I'd have to get rid of the tower shield for that. We'll just go ahead and deal with it. I don't know if... I think the dwarves aren't affected by that, though. Let me go ahead and double check here. I think that dwarves get slow and steady here. Yeah, so their speed is never modified by armor or encumbrance, so he can be heavily encumbered and he's not going to be slowed down at the very least, so being heavily encumbered isn't the worst thing. Though I originally thought that maybe his I guess I originally thought that his constitution was 18 instead of 16, that they was swapped with wisdom, but I guess wisdom was the 18. I kept on thinking that, but he still has super high constitution saving throws to, as we saw against the spiders before. And then Lindsay, how much ability score damage do you have? Just 1? Okay, well thankfully that's inconsequential because we increased her dexterity last time. So, thankfully at least her modifier isn't hurt at all. Alright, let's take care of the hunting grounds here. Alrighty then. So we have the hearty meal for the bonus saving throw boost. Again, I like just searching around here on the edges of every map just to see if I can find anything with perception. Alright, so there are the Boggards, I suppose. I think Jathel, yep, you're using your longbow there, so this should be... Looks like we're hitting them pretty often, so... Jathel, come on now. Mallory, Lindsay. I mean, they should be getting Alyrra's bonus here. I mean, I'm assuming that it's a fear-based effect, so I don't... Terrifying Croak should be like a fear type effect, so my aura should be helping them with that, but for some reason it's not. The anti-fear aura should help against that. I mean, for Valerie it wouldn't because she's too far away to benefit from it, but everyone back here should be benefiting from my aura against that. Like, I don't know, maybe it just doesn't qualify under a fear-based effect, maybe it's slightly different. Or maybe it's not actually... Maybe it's not inflicting like a fear or frightened condition. Maybe it's just doing something else to them here. Alright, so it's just inflicting the shaking condition. It's not inflicting like a fear type condition. Like, even then, I still think that my aura should give them a bonus to the save. But, you know, it is what it is. We still won the fight pretty handedly, so at least we didn't have to deal with anything too annoying there. Let's get everyone into position here. Alright, just making sure that I'm not going to get flanked out of nowhere and have people come from behind. There is a dead body in there. Yeah, Valerie should be okay up here just because her AC is just so good here. Boggard brutes. I guess you can stay on them. Harim, you might as well get in there. Forgot to have you toggle off fighting defensively, but you know, it is what it is.
Low.
So he'll cut them off. So they have an easy time hitting Harim. Not really. They have to roll, I think, a 15 or higher to hit him, so Harim's holding up reasonably well in melee right now. Yeah, he has a 27 AC now that he's gotten an attack in to activate the fighting defensively bonus. Yeah, so it looks like they're just kind of switching on and off between Harim and Valerie, so I think that's how the AI works. If you have at least two people in the front lines, who can hold the line, then they won't go to the back line. But if you only have one, such as with Valerie, then it makes things more difficult on you. Alright, now Harim, time for you to switch back to that. Alright, so just random bits of loot here, and I guess we're finding some corpses littered about that will have things on them as well. Let's just search around here real quick to see if there's anything we notice with perception, and then we'll get back to picking some things up and seeing what these people were carrying on them before they died. Again, you just kind of have to look at sort of every nook and cranny of a map to see if you notice anything. I don't expect to find more enemies, but I'm hoping that maybe I might spot something. Yep, you have to kind of look all around here and kind of get reasonably close to some of these areas to be able to potentially do a perception type check passively, I guess. Okay, so there's one body with some different loot on here. Cloak of Resistance, okay. So now we're going to have someone else that's going to be able to get a saving throw bonus. We might as well have it be my main character here and just have their saving throws super high. Make it really difficult on anyone to try and break through that. Our wisdom not so great for the will saving throws, but we have so many other modifiers to increase it. Divine Grace being the big one, and then our class bonus is decent. Yeah, I guess we're picking up some potions here that we may or may not use. But, I mean, it's always nice to at least gain some potion of aid. Not too bad.
Grotus awaits us. Oh, sorry. Was lost in thought.
Adventures call to them.
Okay, so we're still on first level spells for the bard, I think. Or no, I keep forgetting. Yeah, I need to go ahead and change these out. I don't think we're going to be charging in with her anytime soon. Fighting defensively, maybe. Yeah, I need to remember to use these second level spells. I forgot that I had them on Lindsay here. I'm just going to keep these over here just because I want to have the cantrips in the same spot for when I happen to use them. I'll swap out Ear-Piercing Scream with Heroism here. Cure Light Wounds I'm not going to use too often, so I'll just put that over there. Kind of swapping these spells around based on maybe how often I might use them. Ear-Piercing Scream, I don't know if I'm going to be using that, so it's just not good enough of a spell for me to really use the spell slot on. So Grease, Heroism, Mirror Image. Heroism helping out with skill checks is actually quite useful. It's just, and it has a pretty lengthy duration, so it'll help you out with all of them. Can be very helpful too if you want to cast it on your main character and have them do just super duper well with persuasion checks. So that's another good use of it. And I guess there's a body down here I need to go take a look at. So yeah, not too much here, but we did find some good loot. We found a cloak of resistance, and then I guess another ring of protection here. Yep. I guess the question is, do I want to go ahead and just gear up my main character to start getting into melee here? Because if I do that, I mean, their touch AC is really good compared to Harem and Valerie, which their touch AC is not very good. So against almost anything, I'm going to still be good here. The base dexterity bonus and the charisma bonus are just really good for her. Ring of protection, and then I guess the armor bonus from this doesn't really count for that. I don't know if mage armor would be different for the armor bonus. But yeah, I think that maybe the AC is starting to get high enough to where I can just have her in melee most, if not all of the time. It's still not as good as Valerie's super high AC right now, but it's going to get much higher for my character as we continue going on here. We don't even have as many of the AC boosting feats yet, so we're going to be able to get much higher, I imagine. So let's go and switch these around then, based on, and we'll alter the formation a little bit. But I think that we can start doing this with our character now. We'll just start getting in there. Stunning Fist, you know, obviously it would be nice. I guess it does use our Wisdom modifier, so Stunning Fist wouldn't exactly be very good on our character because we're relying on Charisma instead. But I think, again, my character's tanky enough here. Now we can start getting them on the front line and are not going to get just mauled to death. And it'll be nice to have her in the front lines because it'll also give the aura type boosts to my frontliners. So it'll help them out quite a bit. And her saving throws and her AC are just going to be really good to hang in there. And keep the heat off of everyone else. I think they'll be in melee more often than Harem will for now, actually. So now they're going to be able to do more Paladin type things. It would be nice to explore over here and find out what's going on over there, but for now I think we just gotta go ahead and take care of the immediate concerns and see who we can find out here. It'll be nice to get some more companions soon to be able to pick from, but to Thorn Ford we go. Yep, let's get in there. Alright, and here we are. So I wonder what we're going to be looking for in here. Let's see if we can... We already found something. DC wasn't very high, so it's basically a gimme, but we found a coin there. Nice. Some decent looking graphics on the river here. I mean, the texture and graphics quality I don't have set to the higher type settings, obviously, but I assume that if you had a pretty powerful PC that the graphics in this game would look pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect. It looks kind of muddy in some ways with the water, but it's still a lot better than lots of the open world type RPGs end up doing. Like Fallout 3 doesn't have the best looking water. you know, RPGs like that that are more first person or third person don't always have great looking like water type effects and liquids. So I guess I'm not sure what I'm looking for over here. Looks like it's a decent sized map to look around in. See if there's anything to find up here with perception. So I guess we can cross the river over here. I don't know if we'll end up finding... So I guess this might be a good time to think about heroism. Just because the duration is super good. And I don't know if I'll end up needing it, but... if I need to do any persuasion checks here at Thorn Ford, then this will be a nice help to have. Yes, we have some food over here, cooking ingredients. Again, mainly just going in this direction, just seeing if there's anything to spot as far as perception, and seeing what the heck's going on over here. And I don't know what's... It's supposed to be like a bandit camp over here, I guess, from what we were looking at. I guess a potion of vanish would be good for stealth if we wanted to take a look around with like Lindsay or someone like that.
I will guide us.
And let's go ahead and... I don't know if the music is too loud, but... make it just slightly more noticeable, I guess. Yeah, I guess that might be the proper volume for the music to not be too overpowering. Okay, so it looks like the dark-haired bandit is kicking the ground irritably. When she sees you, she squares her shoulders and clenches her hand axes. Well, look who's here! So we have some different options here. We can try and bribe them, I guess, with that. We can threaten them. We can just get right into fighting them. Or if you're good aligned, you can try and, I guess, reason with them a bit more. Alright, so I think the good aligned option definitely fits, you know, kind of what we're trying to do here. And we like seeking non-violent solutions if possible. So, easy now. I'm not here to blanket the stolen lands with corpses and make it a bloodbath. Lower your weapon and let's talk. I won't kill anyone who leaves the Stag Lord's service or is willing to help me find him. So think about it. Is he really a leader you're ready to die for? Something in your words seems to have impressed Cressel. She frowns for a moment, then spits. Fine. I won't cut your throat. For now, at least. But I also won't kneel to some Restov upstart. Why would you try to make peace? Are you just naturally kind? Or have you been listening to Svetlana? Okay, so this is the person that Svetlana, Oleg's wife up at the trading post, didn't want us to kill. She wanted us to have mercy on them, I guess, and not kill them. And she is indeed, I think, dual-wielding hand axes, so this is definitely the person that we were looking for. So you have different options here. Obviously you have evil, neutral, and some good options. I like that you have multiple good options to kind of flavor it in your own way. Whether or not Svetlana asked me to show them mercy. I mean, it's related to the quest. I think that the reason that this is here is because you talked to Svetlana and have that quest. Otherwise, this would be the only good option that you have. But I think that this option fits our character more, even though this is the option that's available to us because of the quest. So we're just going to go with this one because it's probably what we were thinking regardless. Is it so hard to believe I simply might not want unnecessary bloodshed? Kind of like what I guess what I was saying before. I don't want more bloodshed. So yeah. You know, life hasn't been so good to me. Crystal replies, sullen. Why should I trust you? Alright, here's my piece. The Stag Lord's been spending more time keeping an eye on the bottom of his glass than on what's going on around him. If he won't answer an insult from some Restov crook like Jamandi, then you're right. We chose the wrong leader. So go ahead, do whatever you're gonna do. I won't stop you, but I won't help you either. And here. Give this to Svetlana. The bandit places a ring in your hand, then leaves. So I guess we didn't even have to ask her for the wedding ring, she just gave it to us because I guess, yeah, she's been holding on to it for whatever reason. But we were able to seek a non-violent solution there. So we don't have to spend time fighting all the bandits. I guess they have a prisoner here, I would imagine. So I guess heroism maybe wasn't needed after all, but you know, you never know. So that's why you go ahead and sometimes cast a spell if you feel you might need it, than not having cast it. So better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, I guess, is the line of thinking that I have sometimes. Alright, now we quick saved it after a nice non-violent conversation with bandits. So this guy's name is Jod Kafkin, even though he hasn't introduced himself just yet. It'd be kind of nice if it waited on showing us the names until they introduce themselves properly. But it's a minor, again, another just minor kind of gripe, I guess. You see a dark-haired man of about 45, though the wrinkles on his face make him look 60 at first sight. He's currently a prisoner, judging from his tied hands. He slouches a bit, squinting short-sightedly at the light as he moves his lips, as though speaking to someone invisible. He jerks his head up as he notices you. Praise Erastil! Someone finally chased off those scoundrels. Thank you, stranger. My name is Jod Kafkin. I am a priest of Erastil from Galt. Those bandits attacked me as I was crossing the river. Said they wanted to take me to their leader, make me heal their wounds. Not a chance. The strength granted me by Erastil is meant to help honest people, not robbers. So Erastil, that was one of the deities that we could have selected at character creation. It gives you, I think, proficiency in the longbow. So if you're playing more of an archer character, you know, this would be a very thematic type god. I think if you're playing the Divine Hunter subclass and being an archer, this would be an appropriate deity to select. And then he's from Galt. A nation of freethinkers and radicals, were known for their brilliant poets, artists, and philosophers whose ideas shaped the politics of the whole of Aveston. So it's a more intellectual, I guess, type nation. Okay. And I guess if you want to read the rest of those, then you can just pause the video, I guess. Yep. Alright, so now we're going to go and talk to this guy. How did you come to be in these lands, Jod? I was led here by visions, sent by the elk god. Erastil again. Jod says with veneration. Erastil showed me that somewhere in this wild land lies the Temple of the Elk, an ancient shrine, forlorn and desecrated. I saw the ruins of the temple, and the shadows of a predator lurking in sorcerous fog. I felt the echoes of the vicious rituals performed at the once blessed place. I have no doubt Erastil revealed all of this to me so I could stop the ungodly sorcery that's desecrating the temple. And where is this temple, Jod? Where can we find it? That I don't know. Visions, even divine ones, are often vague and unreliable. I know only that the temple is somewhere near, in the Gnarl Marches. But I'm afraid I won't be able to find it myself, what with bandits lurking around every corner in this place. Jod shakes his head sadly. So I guess the Gnarl Marshes, as we saw on the map, the Gnarl Marshes are basically just like sort of soggy wetlands and things like that. I mean, most people know kind of what a marsh is like. So yeah, it's very close to the Stolen Lands, I believe. It's not too far away. So he knows that the temple is somewhere in the Gnarl Marshes, which we'll have to explore sometime later. So now we're going to release him. I'm glad I could help you out, my friend. Here you go. Jod mutters a bit, rubbing his hands. Oh, these times. To be as surprised to meet an honest woman as to see a manticore at a vegetable stall. Thank you for your help. I've exhausted my supply of prayers, but I'll gladly repay you in the future, once I've restored my strength. Come to me if you ever need to be healed or blessed. I'm afraid an old fool like me won't be able to handle the mission given me by Erastil on my own. How can I search for the temple when the bandits around here won't let me take a single step? I'll head to Oleg's trading post to rest and think on what to do next. Please, traveler, if you happen to discover the ruins of the Temple of the Elk, come inform old Jod. My gratitude will know no bounds. Alright then, so I guess Oleg will offer us free healing if we go to Oleg's trading post to rest up, so we don't have to, I guess, we don't have to worry about using a bunch of our healing stuff if we rest at Oleg's trading post. So that would be one reason to go ahead and rest there, or to go there more often, is so that way we can go ahead and heal up all of the damage that we've taken. Alright, so that was a nice, pleasant conversation. And we found another NPC. Sadly, he doesn't appear to be a joinable party member, which would be welcome, but we're already full up, so I guess it's not bad for now, but it would be nice if soon we could find more party member type NPCs instead of the other kind. Looks like we found a recipe for sweet pancakes. Okay. And then, oh, we have a note here. So I don't know if these things require lockpicking, so it might be relevant to cast a bit of guidance on Lindsay here. Just do another quick save. Indeed, it is a lockpicking thing. Yes, quite good, quite good. Alright, so we got a couple of scrolls here, not too relevant, but what's this? Alright, just mainly loot for money. Not bad, but hoping for a bit more, but, you know, it is what it is. I wouldn't expect bandits to have too much, but if they're in the service of the Stag Lord, maybe we'll find something here. Alright, so we also got another scroll and this more general loot. And we'll go over here and again just explore every nook and cranny here to see what we find. We'll eventually get over there to whatever's over to the west. A watchtower. The bandits seem to have planned to seriously secure the area. That is before we talk them out of it, I guess, so...
Godspeed.
So I guess the Stag Lord, whoever he is, he's definitely... I guess I'll stop here, and I don't know what that gear icon means, if it's going to be something that involves dialogue. Alright, so let's just search here. Alright, so we're going to just... So the bandits' belongings are piled together in a messy heap, and so we search for valuables, and then Harim, I believe, succeeded at the... Or not Harim, but Jathel succeeded at the perception check there. I think that's who it was. You find a catch under all the clothes and blankets. Opening the lid of a small hollow, you find a box full of bottles. An inscription on the side reads, "Wine for the Stag Lord. Don't you dare steal it, fools. I'll make sure you rot." Okay, well, we'll just take the wine. Maybe we can just sell it. I imagine that if we encountered this catch before talking to the bandits, we could have used that perhaps in dealing with them as another alternate route to dealing with them. So it looks like we had several options available to us in this encounter. Okay, so that's a nice chunk of change if we want to sell that. Don't know if we'll need to keep it around for longer, but I imagine that's something that we could have used against the bandits. We can either talk them out of it, we can fight them, or maybe we could use wine on them and maybe, I don't know, spike it with something to get them drunk and something like that, I don't know. Just some herbs.
I was successful in my search.
And a trap. So I guess the bandits, they laid a dastardly trap here. Alright, so let's do a quick save. And hope that she doesn't set off this trap. Oh, well. Her guidance got used up because of that perception check.
Applause, please.
Alright, let's do that. And deal with yet another trap here. Alright, so the trap's a bit difficult to beat, but our modifiers are good enough to where we can reliably at least deal with them. Alright, so we dealt with those. So I guess the bandits laid them on that side of the map. Maybe not the most direct way to place the traps. Let's find out what's over here and then we'll head back over. A sturdy cart with weapon marks along the sides. So I guess the bandits probably ambushed and raided like a caravan or a merchant or someone, I guess. And then took that and all the belongings. Oh, so we find something over here. Another ring. That's actually... Ooh, and a masterwork heavy flail. That could be a blunt option for Harim. 10 pounds, so it's a bit of weight to carry around, but it is masterwork. So +1 bonus on attack rolls. And this is +1 on both attack and damage rolls. 3 to 10 damage when equipped, and then this is, I assume, the same damage. So slightly different damage, but much similar. However, this is a blunt option that might work better when dealing with like undead and skeletons, so it might be better to just equip them with that. then I guess this is a blunt weapon as well. Masterwork. It's nice to keep around some blunt options in case we encounter skeletons again. It is finesse wielding too, so I could put it on my own character. Yeah, it's finesse wielding, so this is probably worth holding on to. Anything that's a blunt option is going to be helpful against undead. Does not... Well, I guess... I don't know. It depends, because this is agile, so it allows me to use my dexterity for damage compared to this, which doesn't. So maybe that's not quite as good an option as I thought it might be. Anyone else that could use the blunt option? I guess we could hold on to it in case we need it. Masterwork weapon is quite nice, obviously. Oh, this does not allow him to go sword and board because it's two-handed. Well, that's a bit of a problem, so I'm gonna have to probably go with the Masterwork light mace, perhaps. Well, I guess it's back to the sword and shield then. We'll just have to keep blunt weapon options open later when we get to it. And then we have the Ring of Protection. Yeah, it doesn't stack, so we need to put it on someone else. So, Harim, my man, you're getting a Ring of Protection. Okay, I think that we got that loot dealt with. See what else we find over here amongst all the trees in the foreground.
Forwards.
Yeah, kind of annoying with the trees in the foreground to try and navigate what's going on around here, but at least with the tab key you can highlight if there's anything to pick up off the ground or any containers. Going down here and see if we can spot anything. Looks like another part of the outpost over there to keep watch. Looks like it's starting to get a bit darker weather now. See another area exit over there, but we aren't going to go over there just yet. Alright, looks like we have some more herb type stuff over here. Oh, maybe not. That's another scorched fragment of a necklace. So that's quite nice to find. See, if you're just diligent and you just look around, all around the map, you can eventually find goodies. So that's why I do it. And being able to find fragments of antiquities or maybe once powerful items later on, it will be really helpful to have some of those things. So yeah, a bit busy work, a bit, you know, looking around and kind of hunting for perception checks in a way, but it is very helpful and it's nice to have that bit of exploration aspect to it, to where you do have to actually just traditionally just search for things. So you have the options of doing things in different ways. Right, and this is the camp that we were at earlier, so I think we've searched everything over there. Yeah, I think that we searched basically all of the map. Unless there's some other perception check that's somewhere that I haven't quite checked yet, I think that's about all of it.
Without a doubt.
Alright, so I found quite a few things here. And we'll go ahead and read the note that we found that I haven't gotten to reading yet. There's the wedding ring we need to return. Here's the recipe for the sweet pancakes. Maybe that'll be useful later on. Alright, so written orders. This is what we need to look at. So this is something for the Stag Lord's men. Kressel, a task. As soon as you're done with the taxes, find an old hut in the woods upstream of the Thorn River, and burn it to the ground. This is the Stag Lord's wish. He literally said, "Burn! Burn!" It was originally going to be Dovan, but he grew upset when he learned nobody lived in the hut. Said burning houses with no one in them was boring. So I said I'd send someone more reliable. It's a strange task, but try to finish it quickly, and no asking what the, or why bother with this trifle instead of preparing for war with Rostov. We'll get to that. A. So I guess I'm assuming that a henchman, or a high-ranking henchman of the Stag Lord, is giving orders to go ahead and burn down a hut, maybe to cover the Stag Lord's tracks, maybe to, you know, cover their tracks as far as their presence in the stolen lands, and maybe their preparation for war. Maybe it's some kind of old outpost that they don't use anymore. And again, they just want to cover their tracks and make sure that no one finds out more about what they're doing. I'm not quite sure, but whatever it is, we're definitely going to get to the bottom of it one way or another, for sure. Alright, I don't know if there's anything else in here that I need to equip, use, or otherwise figure out what I want to do with it. We have a potion of Vanish, which could be pretty helpful for Lindsay doing stealth at some point. She is decent at stealth. Her size helps her out quite a bit, and it's a class skill, so that can be pretty helpful. Alright, let's get going. I think we found everything here. And we read the notes, which is probably the most pertinent thing that we found there as far as the story and figuring out where to go next. But we found some pretty decent loot. We were able to convince this person has some relation to Svetlana to give up fighting, and now eventually we can return that ring to her. So we can keep going up north here to the Thorn River. Go up through the Thorn River and go through the forest. But as this thing says here, it's actually better to go around the forest as much as possible to get over to the abandoned hut, because going through the forest and through the northern gnarl marches here, I mean, I guess maybe it's technically more forest land than marsh and jungle or whatever, but it's more of a wetlands type thing, I think, if I'm understanding correctly. I don't know, maybe that's just a wrong interpretation of it. Maybe it's just a different kind of forest, so I could be misinterpreting that. Obviously, in the description, makes it more lush with wildlife and some hills and trees, lots of trees. So, alright, so let's go ahead and save our game here, and then I think we're just going to go back to the trading post and take care of the 2 quests that we were doing and sell some of the stuff that we've gotten at this point, which we don't have a whole lot of weight carried around right now, but maybe taking care of the quests, since we're going to go all the way around anyway, might be better. And we can also get healed by Jod, that person that we saved. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and quick save, and then we're going to head over here, get healed up by Jod, since he said he'd be waiting there, and take care of those quests and sell stuff. So then we'll go around this northern route to get over to the abandoned hut. Yeah, so we travel much faster when we're not going through the forest. So definitely a worthy consideration as far as traveling goes. Okay, and we're finally back. And there's Amiri dealing yet again more damage to
Let
the
us
training
press on.
mannequin. Alright, Balkan, we got your fangberries for you. Let's see what his reaction
A
is.
rest would be welcome.
Balkan smiles at you. Oh, it's you. Want to buy anything? About those tasks of yours. Are these the berries you were looking for? Balkan impatiently grabs the basket from you, but his face falls after he examines the berries. Damn it all! These are the right berries, but they've soured. Would you be so kind as to gather some fresh ones for an old man? I'm still willing to repay you with those 3 potions I mentioned before. Alright, so we had to get to him quicker with the berries. So, yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. I forgot that we had to take care of that quest quickly, but you know what? That's actually my fault for not remembering that. So I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. It happens. So we might eventually go that way and do stuff again. Let's talk to Jod here.
How may I serve you?
And his line is voiced, so hey. You said that you would heal me, so I wonder if you can do that for me.
How may I serve you?
What services do you offer? I can sell you various divine spell scrolls. They're quite useful, even if you don't have anyone in your party who can read them. While you're in the settlement, or indeed any place of a cleric willing to help, you need only open your bag and choose the scroll you wish to cast. I'll be happy to read it for you. However, take care out there in the wilderness. A scroll is useless without someone who can read it. To use a scroll on your journey, you'll need a spellcaster whose magical training covers such spells, or someone skilled in magical devices. So that's either the use magic device skill, which Lindsay I think has 1 point in, so she can technically use it, or it needs to be, I think, on your class's spell list to be able to use it. I mean, it would be nice if you could just heal me. Like, we did save you and everything, so, like, I don't know why I need to worry about buying stuff from you. There is some things here that could help us, though. Protection from electricity could help us deal with that. Back when we were at Old Sycamore, there was a encamped area type thing that you can rest at, but it's a beginner's trap, as I outlined in that in this particular episodes. That when you rest, there's a will-o'-wisp that comes out to attack you, and you're likely not going to be anywhere near high enough of a level to be able to deal with that encounter. But if you have protection from electricity here, or something like it, then you will be able to deal with that encounter should you wish. Because then it allows you to basically tank everything that the will-o'-wisp throws at you as far as damage goes. And a 10-minute duration is long enough to last the fight, and our Paladin has the anti-fear aura now, so dealing with that against the will-o'-wisp will be doable. Yeah, it would be nice if I didn't have to buy all this stuff from you. It would be nice if you would just heal me without me having to buy it. I mean, I don't know why these scrolls have Cure Light Wounds. Oh, it's because it's a mass Cure Light Wounds. Okay, that's why. Okay. Well, it deals damage to undead, so I think Jaethal would actually be hurt by that kind of spell. Okay, well I was hoping that he would heal us for free, because we did save him, but instead he just sells scrolls. That's kind of disappointing. I mean, the scrolls are still helpful, don't get me wrong, but you would really prefer to just not have to worry about healing and all that stuff if you don't have to, you know. But I think we'll get this, and then protection from fire communal will also be helpful if dealing against if we're in a situation where we encounter a spellcaster that's likely to have fireball or some of that fire breath action going on, then having protection from fire could also be helpful. So I think it's probably worth it to grab these two things. We can fight the Will-O-Wisp with this, and then this will be good protection against fireballs in the future and spells like that, and any kind of fire-based things that are thrown at us. Some of these spells I don't think that we're really going to need. Prayer would be nice, but again, some of these scrolls would be nice, and these are like spellcasting materials for certain healing type spells or for resurrection type spells. But yeah, as you can see, it's 12,000 gold for a resurrection scroll. So if you did not play with the Down to Allies Rise After Combat option, it's really expensive to resurrect allies, and it's just super expensive. Like, you aren't going to be able to afford doing all of that. And on tabletop, I imagine you wouldn't have to deal with quite as many things requiring you to resurrect someone. I mean, granted, in tabletop, you can just roll up new characters and things like that compared to, you know, compared to a game like this where you really want to keep everyone alive. Alright, there's Normal Night Eyes again. Alright, Svetlana, we got your ring back. Svetlana greets you warmly. Good day to you. Do you need anything? I'd be happy to help. Here's your ring, Svetlana. Kressel gave it to me. I even managed to convince her not to fight me. Svetlana sighs bitterly. I suppose I should tell you the truth about her. Kressel wasn't her real name. Her real name was Arana, before all this. She was the daughter of my mother and her second husband, my half-sister. I can't help but feel like everything that happened to her was my fault. She always had a wildness to her. She'd wander the streets, hanging out with the bad crowd, and until the day she passed, Mother complained about Arena constantly. Back then, it was just cruel games and strange escapades. She never really hurt anyone back in Rostov. Her father didn't live much longer than her mother, so I decided to try to help Arena. I brought her here to the Stolen Lands, though Oleg was against it, and once here, she immediately fell under the Stag Lord's influence. She never even needed to meet him. The stories and rumors from the local hunters and the bandits were enough to win her over. She would tell us how he was a real leader, unlike Rostov's softies, air quotes. Eventually, she ran away, only to return under a new name, with a pack of thugs to collect taxes from us. What's worse, she participated in the torture and execution of prisoners, alongside the Stag Lords and minions. Ouch, that's... Yeah, if she willingly participated in all that, then yeah, that's kind of a rough thing to take part in, no matter the context. I don't know if there's any way to set her back on the right path, but I'm grateful for your kindness. Perhaps there's still hope. For the sake of my mother's memory, I'd like to believe that. Well, I would too. I would too. So we gained a little bit of experience points, not that much, but some, you know. And camping supplies and rations, we can sell that, or we can just stash it away for now. Let's just go ahead and stash it away then, I guess. And we'll stash away the rations that take up a lot of weight. Get rid of that. And I guess we'll get rid of anything that we're not going to sell for now. Some eggs, cooking ingredients, edible moss, flour, herbs, cooking ingredients, meat, nuts, get your nuts, onions, okay. Yeah, this would look like a cooking ingredient, except it's just for show and tell, I guess. It's just for show, it's just a decoration. We already have one dueling sword in here, I think, somewhere. Yeah, +1 dueling sword. I don't know if we're going to need another one, so I think we'll just sell that one. I don't know if I want to keep around blunt weapon options or not. They take up a good bit of weight in my inventory, so I don't know if I really need them. I think I'll sell some of the potions that I'm not going to use. Potion of Reduced Person, maybe we might keep that. Large Person, we'll keep that in case we want to use it on a Miri. And we'll keep that around in case we need it, I suppose. And maybe we'll save lesser restoration potions. I'll keep Vanish for stealth, Corrosive Touch. Anything that I already have in there, I'm probably not going to stash around. Like the protection scrolls, so those will be helpful. I'll probably just sell some of the scrolls I'm not going to use. I'll probably sell that as well. I'm not sure if I'm really going to need the torches. I'm not sure if we're going to encounter any more spider swarms. So we'll just offload a little bit of the weight, and then we still have alchemist fires and acid flasks, and then we have acid splash from Jaethal for now. Maybe someone else at some point will be able to fling around some elemental damage. Okay. And then I guess, do we want to keep Scimitar? I don't think so. I don't know if we want to keep this or not. I don't think that there's much of a reason for us to keep it. I don't know if anyone's actually going to end up using it. So, I think we'll just have to go ahead and sell that. I mean, it is an exotic weapon. It would be nice to be able to use it, but you need someone that can really take advantage of it. Let's see, you don't have anything else to say, okay. Lindsay, how about you? I guess we can't really talk about anything else for now. Okay, well, that's fine. How about you, Noriel? Regarding your story, let's see if she'll tell us anything more about the campaign. Remind me how the last campaign of A Reckless Six began. Okay, so I think this is stuff that we Yeah, I think this is things that we already read, so this is kind of recapping events. And she still won't tell us, so we still need to progress more in the story to get her to tell us some more. So, okay, let's... Fair enough, but I was kind of hoping to listen in on some more dialogue here. Now time to finally talk to Oleg and have him buy and sell with us. Okay, trade this and trade that, trade this and that. I think we'll just go ahead and sell these things. I don't think we need to hold on to them. We might end up finding more blunt weapons as loot later on if we're out and about exploring anyway, so... See, these potions can potentially be useful, so I'm not going to sell them. I'll sell that one. Divine Favor can be used, so... Doom, we'll sell this. And we'll sell these. And again, the wand would be useful, but we already have ways to heal and do things like that, so just getting the money I think is just preferable. Alright, so the notes of a traveling priest. This doesn't seem terribly important, but I'll go ahead and allow people to go ahead and pause the video if they want to go ahead and read this. So I guess there's a monstrous black dragon in the River Kingdoms. Okay, so this is notes of a traveling priest, I guess, and so there's some interesting things, I guess, that are here. So I guess, yeah, it's very interesting. So there's some kind of black dragon, or monstrous, just dragon-type creature, I guess, called Ilthuliak. And so I guess, I don't know if we'll encounter this in Ilthuliak, but if we can, well, interesting book, but again, don't think I'll need it at all. Just nice side information, I assume. Bag of holding, we want to keep that. And we'll get rid of all these. Don't know if we'll encounter that Ilthuliak that it references, but you never know, I guess. And we're just buying and selling shenanigans here. Can take a while to buy and sell stuff because you can't just like do a shift click to select, like mass select items and then sell them. That would be pretty nice if you could. Maybe maybe the sort of semi-sequel to this game, or the other Pathfinder game that was recently released, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, maybe it does inventory a bit better. So I don't know if we need to keep this around or not. Like, it doesn't take up any weight, so we can just hold on to it for now, I guess. Seasoned wings and thighs. Well, not something that I need now, but maybe at some point. Well, whatever, we'll just go ahead and buy it. I don't know if we'll find the same recipe out there in the wilderness, but for now, we'll just get it and make sure that we have it. And it's only 100 gold, so that's not too expensive to buy. See, lots of that is just loot that we sold. See, metamagic rods, some different things, stat boosting items. Full plate +1 would be helpful to have for Harem, but I don't think we really need it. Breastplate +1 could be interesting for Amiri's armor class. Yeah. Don't know if there's anything here that's particularly enticing for us to get. This crossbow is pretty strong and it deals fire damage, so it can get through some of those damage types that we need to have sometimes. It could be something that's good for Lindsay to use, since she can use that pretty effectively, but I don't know if we're really going to need it. Elven Curving Blade is interesting. Probably the best if you're an elf and you get that proficiency for free. Looks like you can do a lot of damage and get critical hits pretty often on 18 to 20. That's quite nice. Hakata, another exotic proficiency. So lots of stuff that I couldn't really use in some cases, so... Alright, so I have 4,000 gold to be able to buy another stat boosting item should I want one. We already have a belt on Valerie that gives her constitution, so I don't know if we need that. And I guess I'm already using a charisma headband, so I don't know if we want wisdom. Intelligence, I don't know if we need that right now for anybody. Wisdom could be helpful for like Harim or Jathal. Dexterity could be helpful for Valerie, maybe. If I can get better armor class modifiers for some people. Strength would be good too, to have less encumbrance to deal with for some people. And just more carry weight in general might be helpful, so... Yeah, I think the Belt of Giant Strength might be the most helpful because it'll increase our party's carry weight and allow us to carry more loot. So we're going to go with that. Wisdom Headband would be helpful, but I think we can get by without it. It would increase perception checks for Jathal or Harim, but again, I think we can get by without it. Would this belt change your encumbrance? It would not. Stuff you're wearing is too heavy. Alrighty then. Let's see, you're already wearing the belt that gives you the constitution. Okay. Alright, so I think we're just going to go ahead and give the belt to Amiri here and have her be super strong. And she can carry quite a bit of weight, so that's going to add quite a bit of weight to our party. How much does it increase it by? Quite a bit. And of course it'll allow her to do a lot more damage now with her big old bastard sword. Alright, well I think that this might actually be a good stopping point, and this will be the end of the episode. So we did get some things done. We found the bandit encampment, and we found the lady that Svetlana was looking for, which turns out to be her half-sister Kressel, which wasn't originally her name, but we found Kressel that she goes by now, and maybe later she'll adopt her old name of Arena, I believe it was. And so we took care of that, and we also turned in a couple of quests here. We do need to still go back and, I guess, get the Fangberries for Balkan, so maybe we might just do that now, before ending the episode, maybe, perhaps, you know? But, yeah, we'll just go ahead and take care of that, and I hope that everyone enjoyed the episode all the same, and I hope that everyone enjoys the... the nature of which I'm doing the Let's Play, I guess, to where I'm doing things a bit more slowly and kind of, a bit more patiently, a bit slower paced. That's just my style of playing games in general, especially RPGs. If it was a strategy game or something like that, something a bit faster paced, like a platformer or maybe a shooter,
A rest would be welcome.
then I probably wouldn't take as much time. But we'll just go to the Fangberry Cave here. and we'll take care of that. We'll get the berries without them spoiling, I hope. And we'll go through this direction here to explore through there, and then we'll end the episode. So, a bit sidetracked here because we didn't get the berries and enough of time to make sure they didn't spoil before getting them to Boggard, and that was my bad. So we have to take some time out of our day to go back here and do that all over again. Thankfully, this should go by pretty quickly. But yeah, we are just winding down, I guess, in the episode here, so pretty soon we're going to get here to the end, and it'll be the end of the episode. I don't know if we're going to find anything on the road, which is the only reason why I'm not... it's the only reason why I'm not, like, just pausing the game and pausing the recording and then coming back, is because I don't know if... Again, I don't know if something is going to go ahead and happen while we're on the road or exploring something real quick. I guess I'll do a quick save here instead. Alright, now we got the Fangberries, so I guess it deals damage to you if you fail the skill check, which is maybe why they're called Fangberries. You have to handle them properly, which is why you need to make the nature check in the first place, with a fairly high DC, I might add. So I wonder what Boggard uses the Fangberries for, so it'll be interesting to see what he has to say about that when we get there. Yeah, so the loading screens do slow us down a little bit here, but hopefully we shouldn't be too much of a problem just to get back here real quick. So that way I can end the episode and you guys can get back to maybe whatever it was you were doing when you're not watching gaming videos, I guess. Having a good evening, I hope. Yep. Alright, let's get back here, take care of the Fangberries, and then that shall be taken care of. Did end up costing us about 14 hours or so of travel time, so that kind of hurts to have to do that over again, but you know what? I mean, it happens, so it happens. Nobody is perfect, and you kind of forget things sometimes. Alright, I got the Fangberries, and I got here right away, so... After a quick glance at the basket, Boggard grabs a fistful of berries and shoves them into his mouth. A smile of delight brightens his face. Ah, Fangberries, so fresh! You've been good to an old man. Thank you. Here, take these potions. If you need more, feel free to return. I'll even give you a discount. Alright. Would you buy more Fangberries and moon radishes if I brought them? A sly smile spreads on Boggard's face. A glint in his eye. I should say Boggard's face. But, sorry, my friend, but after you took a walk through that cave, there's nary a spider left. So now it's safe enough for me to gather the berries myself, rather than pay someone else any time I need to cook dinner or make a potion. And that bucket of moon radishes will be plenty for me. Ahem, for me to help Oleg for a long time to come, I mean. I'm assuming that Boggard uses those moon radishes for more than just a medicinal advice, air quotes. I'm assuming he uses that for leisurely time as well, but he doesn't want to say it directly, and maybe the developers didn't want to get hit with a mature rating or something like that because of, or get hit with a higher age rating on their game because of references to drugs or things like that. I don't know. Maybe Oleg is just embarrassed. He doesn't want to say what he uses them for his personal time, I guess. What do you use the Fangberries for? Truth be told, as I've gotten older, I've gotten kind of particular, and my appetite is almost gone. Everything I eat is practically tasteless to me now. I can barely force myself to swallow a bite. Only thing I can still taste is Fangberries, so I add them to my porridge or to roasted meat. I even add them to my potions. When I ran out of Fangberries, I stopped eating entirely, Svetlana tried to help me, the dear. She baked pies for me. She cooked me fish soup and stewed venison, but I just couldn't eat any of it. I was desperate. Those damned spiders had sucked the last bit of joy out of my life. If not for you, I'd pretty much have starved to death, miserable to the end. I mean, so I guess it's not that he can't eat the foods, it's just he doesn't really taste anything anymore for whatever reason. Maybe he performed experiments and some side effects affected his taste buds. Maybe he accidentally spilt some acid onto his face or his tongue or something like that, I don't know. So, I mean, that's understandable, but man, if we basically saved you from dying, it'd be nice if maybe he gave us, like, I don't know. Like, if it was that important, I guess he might have stressed it as being more important, I guess, I don't know. At least that's what it seemed like it would have been. Like, if it was that important that he get the Fangberries so that way he doesn't die, then I guess I would have assumed that he would have made more importance out of it. So he said that he would give us a discount, but I'm not sure if that's actually true or not, but... I don't exactly know what the prices of some of these items were before, but... I guess honey could be good for one of the sweet pancakes recipe, but probably not going to use that for now. And we'll just copy that recipe, and I think that is going to do it finally for this episode. We also took care of the task for Boggard there. We finally took care of the Fangberries, we took care of the caves, and delivered his moon radishes, and we delivered Svetlana's wedding ring to her, bless her soul, and again, non-violently took care of the encounter with the bandits that we were dealing with before at the sort of the outpost of bandits. And I think that overall this was a very satisfying session. So I'm satisfied with how things worked out, and we were able to gain a good bit of loot. We ended up getting quite a bit of good items. We had some more protection type items to aid in our AC and saving throws, and we got some extra weapon options now, I guess, to work with, at least so it seems. But yeah, we ended up finding some more weapons, but I guess we just didn't take hold of them, mainly because different reasons, I guess. So anyway, I'm glad that everyone joined me for today's episode, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll hope to get the next episode out sometime soon so we can continue the journey of Alyrra and Nephidel and the stolen lands of Pathfinder Kingmaker. So you all take care, and have a wonderful day.